Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got an important update based on information coming in from multiple sources about what's currently happening with Section 21 notices in the UK rental market. There's been a sharp rise in these notices recently, and the data is being reported by solicitors, housing organizations, and tenant groups. One of the key voices here is Shelter, who are claiming that many landlords are rushing to issue as many Section 21 notices as possible before the May 1st deadline. In this video, we're going to break down exactly how much these notices have increased, what's driving this surge, and what it could mean going forward. Are rents likely to rise? Will there be fewer rental properties available? We'll cover all of that and more. Before we get into the details, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. Join thousands of others who follow for regular insights on house prices, interest rates, and property investment. And if you find this topic useful, hit the like button. It really helps the video reach more people and supports the channel. Now, according to Shelter, the current situation is becoming serious for tenants. They argue that landlords are contributing to a growing problem by issuing a high volume of Section 21 notices. From their perspective, this is creating real pressure on renters. However, there's another side to this argument. Some would say that groups like Generation Rent, political parties, and even organizations like Shelter have supported policies that have placed increasing pressure on landlords over the years. At the core of the issue is a simple supply problem. There just aren't enough properties available. To be fair, not everything in the recent reforms is negative. Measures aimed at improving living conditions, like tackling damp or ensuring landlords maintain their properties properly, are clearly necessary. Protecting tenants from unfair treatment is important, but at the same time, some of the changes may have gone too far in terms of the overall burden placed on landlords. Higher taxes, reduced flexibility, and more complex regulations have made the market less attractive for many property owners. In some cases, landlords feel they have less control, especially when dealing with difficult tenants. When you combine that with rising costs, it's not surprising that many are choosing to leave the market. There's also the financial side. If returns were consistently strong, more landlords would likely stay. But for those running standard buy-to-let properties without strong cash flow or long-term planning, it can be increasingly difficult to make it work. The data we're seeing doesn't just come from one organization. It's being reported by several groups, including a renters union called Acorn, legal support organizations like the Central Law Center, and Shelter. All of them are seeing a significant increase in tenants seeking help after receiving Section 21 notices. Looking at the numbers, reports suggest that Section 21 notices have risen by around 65% over the past 2 months compared to the same period last year. And it's important to remember that even last year saw a large number of landlords exiting the market. In 2025 alone, around 28,000 rental properties were sold off. That's a substantial reduction, especially when you consider the total UK rental market is roughly 5 million properties. Now, with even more landlords serving notice, the situation could become more challenging. Not every Section 21 notice means a property will be sold. In some cases, landlords may simply want to replace tenants they see as risky, perhaps due to rent arrears or ongoing issues. But a significant number of these notices are likely tied to landlords planning to exit the market entirely. Looking ahead, some estimates suggest that between 300,000 and 350,000 rental properties could be lost this year. If that happens, it would have a major impact. In fact, the UK currently has a similar number of rental properties as it did back in 2016, despite a growing population and increasing demand. There are several factors driving that demand. People are living longer, immigration continues, and many potential buyers are unable to purchase homes due to high house prices and mortgage rates. Rising unemployment in some areas also adds to the pressure, pushing more people into renting. On top of that, social housing is under huge strain. In some parts of London, waiting lists for council housing can stretch up to 30 years. That's an enormous gap between supply and demand. All of this highlights the broader consequences of the current policy direction. While the intention behind reforms like the Renters' Rights Act is to improve conditions for tenants, which is a positive goal, Not every part of the legislation necessarily benefits them in practice. For example, removing Section 21, often referred to as no-fault eviction, is one of the biggest changes. While it aims to provide more security for tenants, it also changes how landlords handle difficult situations. Previously, landlords could issue a Section 21 with 2 months' notice and often move on without pursuing unpaid rent. Going forward, they may need to rely on Section 8, which can take much longer through the courts. In some cases, this could lead to tenants receiving CCJs, making it harder for them to rent again in the future. There have also been concerns raised about whether enough analysis was done before implementing these changes. At times, government responses in Parliament have suggested that the full impact on courts, landlords, and the rental market may not have been fully assessed in advance. As more data becomes available in the coming months, we'll get a clearer picture of how this is all playing out. If you're a landlord and you're planning to issue a Section 21 notice before the May 1st deadline, or thinking about leaving the market, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. It would be useful to see how widespread this situation really is. Also, if you're a landlord, don't forget to download the official Renters' Rights Guide that you'll need to provide to tenants by the end of May. And if you're a tenant, it's worth reviewing it as well so you understand your position. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed today, especially around Section 21 and the wider rental market. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the other content on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.